Good afternoon, delegates, and welcome once again to the 20th anniversary of the First Nations Housing Community National Housing Conference. It's the time we've all been waiting for. It's time for the Sioux Lookout Home Hardware Builders Challenge taking place in the Scandia Room. Come on down, get yourself a seat. This is always one of the most popular attractions here at the conference year after year. But we have a lot of them. We're just getting underway. We have our host, John Hicks, take us through some fantastic demonstrations and training opportunities along with the Builders Challenge. If you signed up for the first challenge, if you have entered yourself as being a participant in the Builders Challenge, please come to the Scandia Room now and report in with Severio. He'll get you all signed up, get your equipment, and get you going. Remember, there are incredible prizes available for those who participate in the Builders Challenge. If you have not signed up for one of the forthcoming challenges, please also let Severio know you're interested in joining in, and they'll get you going. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please gather into the Scandia Room. We're about to kick off with the Sioux Lookout Home Hardware Builders Challenge 2022 version. Once again, delegates are about to kick off for the Sioux Lookout Home Hardware's Builders Challenge in the Scandia Room. If you have signed up to be a Builders Challenge participant for this first round, please report into Severio, the gentleman with the clipboard in the Scandia Room. He'll get you all set up and equipped with everything you need to participate in the challenge. If you would like to join us for future challenges this afternoon and you haven't signed up as of yet, you can also check in with Severio and he'll get you on the list to participate in the next rounds of the Builders Challenge. Incredible prizes for those that participate, as well as a fantastic learning opportunity at the Sioux Lookout Home Hardware Builders Challenge.
That should be working. Okay, we're going to get going here. Severio is still working on finding people to kick in. Where is he? He's in the back. He's right over there. So if you're, we have 10. That's what we need. Okay, so the people that are doing the challenges, I want you to get up now and choose a booth. Get with your partner, choose a booth. Just go there. We're not going to start yet, but I want to get you there, and that'll get everything a little bit more efficient. Now, this doesn't, you can imagine, you've seen this whole thing, and you can see the structure that we have and the work that we put into doing it. And we have to actually give a big hand to Eric here. Eric, would you come up from Home Hardware and come on up? He's the new owner of the Home Hardware at Sioux Lookout, and done a fantastic job of putting this all together. And matter of fact, you wanted to say a couple of words. Can we get a microphone for him back out here? Somebody's running to do that. But it takes a lot of work, as you can imagine. These were all built ahead of time, brought in here like modular houses, put together. Nobody went to bed last night and got this show ready. But I just like to offer you, I just want to offer you a chance because it's your birthday. Yeah, you're right. I think we should get a big hand for his birthday. I mean, he comes and works all night long on his birthday. I mean, this is good.
Yeah, I didn't think I was coming out. So bin again, Mino Giz again, Eric Portless and Dishnakaz, so Bishop Kong Donji. Welcome everyone. Good day. My name is Eric Portless. I live on the traditional territory of Lac Seul First Nation. For the last 7 years, I was the education director in Lac Seul First Nation and lived in the community for 3 years. Before that, I was a teaching vice principal in Cat Lake First Nation. So that goes back to the time where Cat Lake had a pretty well-known housing crisis. It was all over the news and nothing, no surprise there. I lived in a house there in Cat Lake, no knock on the community. My foster daughter's from the community. I love Cat Lake. We lived in a house for 3 years there. We moved out. The next week, a young family moved in. And then a week later, the house was condemned, unsafe to be lived in. And so then we moved to Lac Seul, and I was fortunate enough to get a band house there as well. The teacherage was full, and I got a band house there. And again, we were in the same situations where there was mold. We had to rip out the bottom foot of drywall in the bathroom because it was covered in mold, and then various other repairs. And so I've lived in band housing. I've been in on reserve for over a decade. As an educator, I didn't realize, as a guest to the community, I didn't realize the things until I lived it. And I realized why some students come to school sleepy. I realized that the housing crisis causes situations where people are sleeping in turns. It's their turn. They got to wake up at a certain time, even if they didn't get enough sleep, so that somebody else can use the bed. This is a real life situation in communities, and I've lived it firsthand. And so when the time came, we found somebody in Lac Seul who was from the community, who was able to, I worked with them for a half year to take my position as ed director there. And I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to buy a portion of the Sioux Lookout Home Hardware as a partnership. And now I like to work with First Nations in a different kind of way. Education was amazing. I love it. It's a passion of mine, but construction is a true passion of mine. I'd like to work with First Nations, build strong relationships, have conversations that just isn't just about materials, but have conversations about good, long-lasting buildings without mold, without rot, and doing it in a good way and building those long-lasting relationships. So anyway, it's humbling. It's an honor for me to be the sponsor of the Builders Challenge here. I'd like to thank all of you for coming, and thank you for the opportunity for this. Miigwech.
Thank you. Okay, now we got to get into it. Right now we're going to deal with screens. Later in the afternoon we're going to do some plumbing and ventilation and doors problems. You notice our houses have shims sticking out all over the place, so watch out. Don't bump your elbow or your head on the shims. Right now I'd like all the contestants to remove your screen windows, because that's what we got to work on. And when you're working on screens, we've got to look at a few of the tools that we're going to be using, and a couple of surprising tools at the same time. If you look in your tool bucket, you'll find that Linux has given us some interesting, strange little screwdrivers, and I'm going to be asking, you'll need slotted I hate slotted screwdrivers, but you need a slotted screwdriver to get the spline out, to be able to dig in and get it out. When this came across my desk, when Lennox sent me a copy to show off to me, I thought it was pretty boring. And I didn't really look at it seriously until I dug a little bit. I wanted another screwdriver, and I said that the head comes off. And so it was straight and Phillips, and that's, you can expect that from the Americans. And then I dug a little bit deeper and found out that if I pulled something else, because they said there were 9 things and I couldn't figure out where they were. And so like a Russian doll, there's a double-headed Robertson bit in there from the States. And then where I pulled it out, that's a 1/4-inch hex driver. And if you look at the one that this one was in, that's a 5/16 hex driver, or 3/8, I think, hex driver. And when you turn that around, you've got another set of heads and another hex driver. So there's stuff buried in there. So as you're working today, you're going to need some Robertson screws and some straight screwdrivers. And so it's all right there somewhere hidden in that nifty little screwdriver. So that was my ad for the screwdriver, because it's really kind of cool. So you need a screwdriver to be able to get in there. We're also going to use a magic marker. And the magic marker is for the judges, because one of the things we're going to do, and you can do that right now if you want to, is you're going to lay the screen down on the floor and draw its outline, because that will, 1, tell you some things while we're working, but 2, the judges can judge if you've messed up the screen window later on. Okay, so you're going to have to, it's got to fit back into that outline when we're all done. So if you want to do that right now, lay it down on the floor and just draw an outline around it. One of you hold it down so it doesn't move, and the other get that down there. Simple. Next tool is an X-Acto knife or even a pair of scissors. You've got all of that in your tool. You can work the way you want. So we need something to cut the screening material. Then we have spline available, which is brand new spline. We can sometimes use the old spline if it's still flexible when you take it out. If it's not flexible, we need to change it. And here's the gadget you do need to buy. It's a double roller, 2 rolls. Now let's see if we can get a good camera on this one. One end over here, there we go. You see there's actually a groove in this roller? Yeah. Now that groove saddles the spline, so you get it to the right size. Don't go away, and I'm going to turn this over. And on the other side, there's no groove. So one of them sets the spline into place because it holds on to it, and the other one drives it down to the bottom. If you drive it down to the bottom of the first one, you cut the screen. Okay? So you don't want to go all the way down with the first one. You want to just get it in so it's staying put, and then you're going to drive it on down to the bottom. Okay? Now, why are we doing screens? You may have a hole punched in your screen. You know, that finger hole that somebody stuck it through there, or somebody wanted to get to the lock to open it up so that they could get the screen open. And so you may need to patch a hole. If you want to patch the hole, you can buy tape that's made like screen, and it's not bad to go over there. If you have aluminum screen or any aluminum screen available, you can come look at this later. Let me show it to the camera if I can. I've got to look at the screen and see what you're seeing. You see there's there's the hole, and there's a patch, but you see all those fibers sticking out? Well, I stripped the edges off, or all the way around my patch, bent the legs in 90 degrees, and then pushed it into and through and bent over on the other side. No glue, no tape, no nothing. So I'll leave this here. You can check this out later. And it's one way to do an instant bug patch. Doesn't give you a new screen. It's a patch, but there's no bugs coming through. Second thing I want to point out to you, you're going to buy a screen at the store. So you're going to go, you have all kinds of possibilities. We usually nowadays get these ones that are made out of vinyl or whatever, fiberglass sometimes, or aluminum is another common screen material. But you should be aware that there are now differences available in the stores. So you have a regular screen material, which will be like exactly what you see on your windows. And then you can buy one with a finer mesh, so it goes to smaller bugs. And then there's a third one, and they're usually labeled right on it, no-see-um screen. And a no-see-um screen will actually stop pollen and no-see-um from coming through. It costs more, And unfortunately, I usually find it's only available in very large rolls. So you may have to get together 3 or 4 houses and buy one roll, and then you can do all the screens. But don't just say, I want a screen. Think about, do I want to invest in a screen that won't even let those tiny little buggers through? Or do I, what do I need? And you get the right screen, okay? So that's enough for all those things. Here's what you're going to be doing, and I'll do a little bit of a demo here. So you want to watch on the screen because you're not going to be able to see it because we're all pretty low down here, is that with the screen on the floor, you want to cut a piece of screen that's about 2 inches bigger. So you can cut it with a pair of scissors, you can cut it with an X-Acto, you can use the straight edge, that big yellow straight edge, to guide the X-Acto. Any way you want to cut it, don't do it right now, we'll do that shortly. Don't get ahead of the game there. So, but you want to cut that pretty well following the square. Now we got excess we can cut off, so it's doesn't have to be perfect. But you want to be careful because it's very discouraging if you start a long cut and you only realize halfway through the cut that everything is moved over and your screen will not cover the window. Okay, so pay a little attention while you're doing that. 2 people's always good. Somebody's watching the knife, somebody's watching the screen, and you get that so it's larger. So once that's there, then we're going to pull off the spline, and if you look one corner, one of the 4 corners, that's where the spline ends, and it's sort of an open space. And so with the screwdriver in straight screw mode, you can usually just get in and pull that out, get it started. So that just pops up. Now you want to be careful because all screen frames are delicate, and you can bend them. And once you bend them, you can try to straighten them out, and it sometimes works a little bit, never works perfectly. And if you can get this out so it's reusable, that's cool. And if you don't need to reuse it and it's still in good shape, put it in a plastic bag and save it for when you needed a little bit of spline and it's too far to go to the store to get it. So you do that, then you can easily just pop the screen out. Now you realize that the screen was cut tight so it looked neat, and if I tried to put the same screen back in, I'd never make it because I can't hold on to it. That's why we cut the screen about 2 inches too big to go on both sides, okay? So then the too big screen comes over into place with a little extra. What you're lining up is not your cut because I never trust the cut, but if you look at the white, you can see the black lines. If I look at my dark floor, I don't see anything, but I can see the dark lines, and I can see when I line it up. So you're going to start in one corner, choose any corner you want, and you're going to run down the long side to start with. So you just push that in. You do the set tool, and now with 2 people, I got somebody to help me here. There we go. You're going to sneak up over there and see if you can squeeze yourself over to stay away from the camera. So if he pulls my straight side up towards him, snugs it up, that's going to save a lot. And we both want to eyeball it and discuss whether we've got it in a straight line. It looks like that's close. And then you can usually just run with that pretty easily. Once it's got started, I don't have to do too much over here. And you're going to get that going down. Now, I don't want to take a lot of time to do this, so we're going to flip over. Usually I would go fairly far before I come back and do a little setting. I don't have to go all the way in right now. Jumping off is not a good idea because you can cut the screen. So a slow, even pressure, once you feel that working, gets that down, and you'll see it sliding in and coming along. Now, you need to work your way down there. You make the corner, you come around. Sometimes the corners you have to go back to your screwdriver to push the corner down and get the corner down into place. Now, I'm going to do, because it's going to take too long for me to get around there and we need the time for you to work, is that when this is all here, when I get to this side, if by chance you pull the screen too tight, what you can do, and we can't really see the line here, but I'm going to do this in the air. If you watch that, watch over here on this side, and I can bend that into an hourglass. Okay, I can just bend this thing so it, and if it's an hourglass shape, it won't fit back in the window properly, and it doesn't stop the bugs. So if I do it too tight, I mess it up. Now you can undo it as long as you haven't cut off the extra. Okay, so if you have to back up, you can, as long as you leave the extra to play with. If you do it too loose, it looks sloppy. So our objective is we want it to look nice and smooth, but not so tight. Our objective for testing is you're going to put that back down after it's all finished and see if it's the same shape it was when you started. Okay, so it's fairly simple, a little tedious, but let's see how we can do it. You've got all your tools. You've got your screen. They're all marked on the floor, ready to be judged. Everybody done with the marking? We have a clock about ready to go here. We're going to give you 15 minutes. Okay. We got a countdown? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, she's got to do the countdown. Go. 15 minutes. So there's your clock up there. Now, if you don't get it done, you don't get it done. We'll judge by who gets the most done. Now, we're going to be walking around, watching what you're doing, seeing if you need some help. That's right. As a partner, you want to hold it steady for the other guy so that it's easier to handle. And then whoever's in the best position to pull that, now you can pass your pulling off to your partner because it's coming his way. And then you can hold on to it up there. That's right. That's rolling it together. Okay, there. You'll find it flat on the floor. It's usually easier to work with. Oh, no, he's got it gumming out like a zipper. Okay. Yeah, with the mark on the floor, it helps you to figure out where to cut your screen. Although if you're doing that on a living room floor, I don't recommend a magic marker.
Now, if you need an incentive, just think that the mosquitoes are on the way. Sunset's coming, they're about ready to come out, and you've got a wide open window.
You gotta see my line.
Your kids are watching.
Hold on here.
You can do it, Mom, you can do it.
Another line there. Can you see it? Okay, let's try it again.
Okay, you didn't mark it on the floor, did you? Did you outline it on the floor?
Can you
Oh,
cut
it's
out?
down there, okay, you're down on the red. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, cut on the plywood, don't cut on the tie, don't cut down there.
My cable stuck to the guy's leg.
You got your, okay, you're good. You don't want to cut on the tie because you'll cut the hotel rope.
There.
Now, I gotta admit, we don't usually wear hard hats to do screening. And I don't think that the construction gods will complain about that, but it looks good on camera.
And
That's what it's all about, isn't it? You're still trying to get it out? I don't know, you're
I can't get anything.
you don't have much extra there, do you? Did you cut it larger than that? Because that's very small. And that's the way we want to do it. So they want to cut another one? It's wider? So you're going to be fighting that, trying to get that in. Yeah. If you don't have more extra on this side, you don't have much. Because yeah, now, see, you give yourself a little bit, right on the edge. And right on the edge is the good. Yeah. Now, sometimes you might want to start the screwdriver to get that first one down. Just to push it down flat. Be careful not to cut the screw. That's all right.
Hold on. Wedge.
That's the other problem with it. Small enough place for two people, and you got a camera and a camera hole in there.
Same idea here.
At least you don't have the kids sitting on the couch saying, ah.
Yep.
Now, that's all right along. You need to consider this cold gas or something like that. Once you get the knack of it, it kind of just rolls. It takes a while to get started. I love it. I get to just do 6 inches and quit.
Just here.
You got the knack. Now, no CM streams are interesting. What they did to get better than regular streams, they made the wire finer and doubled the number of wires. And so the space between wires, making it finer and then less black, but doubling or making half the space and then starting to cut out the buttons. So some of them really see a difference. Some of it's actually twice as many strings as in a regular string. Of course, it's a little more blind, a little less transparent. But that's a big help. Get rid of those CMs, I'm willing to pay off. Huh? Yeah, the metal frame itself is easy to bend. You probably have to go like a window company. Go to the window open and see if there's some numbers, try to find an intersection. Oh, try to find a match. Now, one of the things you might be able to do if you're taking one of those, if you fix for a stand, and might be in your hardware store, is make a cardboard template. You can measure, but that's always, when you walk in the cardboard, because even if you go to the hardware store, and they don't sell screens, but they sell windows, you'll find out naturally, you know which manufacturer is model in the market. Okay?
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Actually, putting that all back together with the screen. Okay, well, I didn't talk about that cutoff. Let me do that very quickly. Just to keep it back up stable. I'm going to just look at a little corner piece here. The final cutoff, if you look at the screen out there, once your slide is in, there's a blade going right up against the middle, and cutting right like that above the spline. And that gives you your knee cut that's all locked in. Okay? Do a little bit more of that, so you don't have to roll this down this way. I'm going to go down. Go down here, right in, like that. Is that a good shot for me? Take it back. And then we just slide it around along that line, and that opens it right up to a clean catch. You don't want your knife down this way.
I
You want it really flat.
And the judge is talking to each other. That's the judge. No? He's holding a blue.
Oh, here we go. We got one of them done, and it's got 6 minutes left.
I know we've been done for 5 minutes.
You've been done for 5 minutes. I'm gonna go to the window, see if it fits. How does it look on your mark on the floor? Perfect. Okay, so the judge is gonna have to.
I got the best partner here.
You got the right partner.
And by the way, if you want to sign up for another challenge, inspection there. Okay, it's looking good. This is the man, if you want to sign up for another
I
challenge.
cannot. Thanks.
We've got two of them there. How are we doing up here? We're cutting off up there.
He doesn't like turn on his.
Yeah, they put it in.
Come along. Yes. Now you'll notice some degrees of ripple to this or a little wave to it, and that comes with experience. And if you have that at home, now one thing you can just notice on this one is that, you see the rope to it? This is a little too tight. Does it fit with your outline? So you see the hourglass effect? It's going in here. Okay? So that's a good example. I wanted that to show you.
You're getting it now.
But you can see it because it's a little warped like a cookie candy sheet. It's not flat because there was tension in it from one way or another. And you can actually see on the left-hand side right here that where they get that effect in line.
Move it.
Yeah. So they grab here and you see that they pull in, coming along there from too much tension. And that's a great way to know
Somebody.
putting the window without water. It's not too bad. And you can live with it.
That's all.
But if you really want it to be perfect and it doesn't have that, what you need to do then is now go on the outside and see if there's a path for the bugs to come in. Think like a bug. Three more minutes, so you're doing fine. Looks like we're gonna all get pretty close to done. Coming along there. They're struggling on theirs with.
I think we're the last one here.
But you see, they have very little overhang. So they didn't cover themselves enough slack. So they're fighting with trying to hang on to that piece while they're putting on the spline. See, you can barely hold on to it. And that's why we like a 2-inch overlap. You sure you can reach makes it easier to work on.
Who's doing this?
We've got 3 minutes left, so you're still on. Oh, you're cutting away. I didn't think you got that far. Okay.
Finish it off.
Come on, you're doing good. I'll get out of your way. Watch out for your fingers.
Look at this team all done.
That's like when my grandson wanted to borrow my pocket knife open a Christmas present. Suddenly my son jumped and said, "Pay attention, Grandpa's knife's cut."
The one on my
2 whole minutes, we had a lot of time to do that. We can hire you guys.
I was gonna give you a snapshot of time.
So did you show the judges the perfect fit on
Got him.
your pattern? Did you judges, then the judges see this over here? Gotta see, pop it out, and let's see if we got a perfect fit on the floor. Now you got a little bit of work there too. And a little bit of an hourglass. It looks great.
I can't.
So a tiny bit of an hourglass, not enough to really bother anything, but you can see that it's stretched tight. And if you put it on the white sheet, you'll actually be able to see the wire line and see how it flows.
I think it's my pencil.
It's your pencil. Okay. Well, then you failed the first step. You succeeded with the second one.
It's really hard to not get an hourglass. But let's admit that.
No.
And if you totally avoid it, often the whole thing is just saying you lose. Then it makes no hourglass. So you're hitting that up. Okay, so they're down here. How did you on matching the floor? Okay, and we should how did it match when you check it to the floor? Did it fit perfectly? Okay. The judges check all those, the fit with the floor. Okay, they got all, there are, no, not all of them. We have one
Judgy guys,
one
yeah.
last thing, it's got 30 seconds left. They're going to come in on time. Who doesn't come with me? Now is not the time to get nervous. Over to the home stretch. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
What the fuck?
One.
Get the fuck.
It's all right, I think we all got done. Okay. So now it's up to the judge. All the judges are looking at. We're just going to go forward for just a minute. I'm going to glance at the schedule here. What we're coming up to is the next one that's not very far away. What is our time now? Let's see. 1:30.
I'll be away.
So according to this, at 1:40, we're supposed to start the next one. We'll be a little late. Okay, so all the contestants, if you want to, you can take those flying rollers home with you. Your hard hats, what else? Hard hats, gloves, those are all for you for participating. And if the flying rollers are useful to you, keep it. The next challenge, we're already decided this one is going to be the exhaustion test, both clothes, wire, and water, and this is something maybe you never thought about in half.
Because I'm fixing something. I wasn't even watching the camera.
And if you want to participate in one of the challenges later in the afternoon, that's the guy to talk to.
Okay. I'm not up, right? Okay, let me get this. Are these the same guys? I know what. That's what I think.
Are the judges off in contemplation or what? Keith?
Oh, I gotta find the winner. I think these guys.
You guys are all decided? What's the verdict?
Okay, team 5 takes
Team 5 is this one here, the first booth. Takes first place.
See?
Okay. And the first one done.
team 1 takes the second place.
Team 1 over here.
No, I can go.
Thank you very much. Take a break, visit the showroom a little bit, and very shortly we'll announce the next one. We just got to get our act organized to set that up and be ready to go. Just got to turn the camera back on my Italian friend back there. He's the guy that's organizing all the participants. That's the guy that you need to nail if you want to participate, okay? Because he's out there twisting arms. Oh, we got all kinds of cameras on him. That's a good shot. Handsome guy. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And I'm just going to crank up my gravity clock. Those of you who haven't seen this, this is a device that was made for the African backwoods, where they only have kerosene for lighting. And it's a gravity-driven lighting system so that they could cook and do homework after the sun went down without burning kerosene, which is their only form of light.
I got an auto shot going, the camera's tilting, and the person just walked.